y'all. Welcome to Bros and Cons. We are at Conflict Sports in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I have been waiting to talk to this gentleman since we talked at the John Michael Taylor Art Center. This is the love artist, Nemo, Nehemiah Edwards.
Yes.
Happy to be here. Thank you all.
Yes. So, how you doing today?
Doing good, man.
How was the drive over?
Oh, it was quick. A little bit of road construction on the way over, but there's nothing to get past. But it was good, man. I mean, I'm from here, so I'm not too far. Just stay in the downtown region. But how was the drive for you all? I know you all came from Sheboygan, and you got another trip to take after this.
Oh yeah, go see Grandma.
Yeah.
She's turning 90. Happy birthday, love you.
It's an exact circle. Yeah, it's an exact circle from Highway 43 to Highway 41.
Yeah.
Back to 23.
No. So I mean, just with that being said, I appreciate you all for being here because just to drive about an hour just to be here to interview myself and the other guests you just had, Dubsack, I think is just speaks to the will to want to do you all's good work, and you're not gonna let anything get in the way of that. So just appreciate you all.
Oh,
Thank you. Definitely, man. You. Yeah, we appreciate that. Definitely, man.
Yes.
But yeah, so let's jump right into it, man. So you're an artist. What kind of art is it that you specifically deal in, and what led you to that?
Yeah. So community facing, people know me to be a visual artist, and so that means I work in the visual landscape of things, which means I primarily paint. So paint on canvas, on walls, but that gets into other types of work as well, so installation work, sculpture work, things of that nature.
Okay.
But all of it is, I've discovered that the visual arts, or just the arts in general, is my purpose work.
Okay.
And when I say that, I mean that this is the way that I get a chance to have my authentic voice and impact people for the better.
Okay.
And I feel like that's just ultimately all what we're here to do is find our way to be our best, most creative, most vulnerable, free self, by doing that, helping others to be that for themselves, but ultimately just getting people to uncover the fact that it's about getting them to understand who they truly are.
Okay.
Like internally.
Right.
And so what I found to be the most impactful and the most important thing that I could possibly share with others is love.
Okay.
And it's also understanding that you yourself is nothing but a spirit of pure love.
Mm-hmm.
That is who you genuinely are.
Right.
When you unravel, it's all literally quite the same. And that's nothing but a spirit of pure love.
Right.
So I try to communicate that through the visual arts.
Okay. So what age were you, or when did you start realizing you wanted to be an artist, or consider? Because I think in today's day and age, we don't automatically respect or acknowledge our gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm an artist. This is what I am.
Right.
I mean, for a while you're just like, I want to be an artist, or I think people like some of the stuff I do. But what point did you come to when you were like, this is my purpose and this is what I am?
Yeah. That pretty much happened. I would say it was like my junior year. So I did 5 years in college. It was between my 4th and 5th year in college. So I went to UW-Madison for electrical engineering.
Okay.
So I got my degree in electrical engineering. However, it was the summer before I graduated where I realized that I no longer cared about anything that I was doing when it came to the work that I was learning.
Right.
Like I was just going through the motions of what I was told I should be doing. Ultimately, it's like, okay, you go to school, high school, you go to college. Next thing, you get a job. You find a way to support yourself by working for someone, and go that route.
Okay.
But it dawned on me that and this is what helped me too, is I always found myself doing the thing that I genuinely loved. At that point in time, it was music production.
Okay.
And so I was in college, working as an RA, taking my engineering classes, but I found my joy when I was at the computer making beats.
Okay.
Beats. And I'm just like, why am I spending time doing things that I don't like when I can spend my time doing things that I do like?
There you go.
Prioritize your smile.
Hey, exactly. I'm like, I shouldn't feel this. And why would I go down the route of doing and pursuing something that I truly just don't even care about? Like, that's how I'm going to be spending my time. And on top of that, there are countless examples of people who do and pursue their own creative adventures and make a great living for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, okay, so let me start to pursue that path, because that's the path for me to complete freedom.
Right.
Freedom of time, freedom of my peace. You know, like and so it was then when I'm like, okay, I need to start to find a way to get this thing going.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yes.
And so I started to tap into. Again, at that time it was music production. I started to tap into what I can do in that field.
Right.
And so I started to like look for internships and, you know, potential jobs in the music industry. Like, how can I just make my way in that space?
Okay.
Made a little bit of progress here and there. Worked for like Grammy Camp in New York for a moment over a summer.
Nice.
Had a couple opportunities that did all right, but ultimately it just ended up eventually leading me to be to a point where I needed money again.
Right.
You know, and then that's when I had to, you know, work my engineering jobs for a couple of years, and but that never left me. That urge to want to just do and pursue my own creative thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know, that never let go. Never let go of it, man. Because again, like, you only get one life, and it's like, why would I give up on the thing that I feel like is ultimately going to allow me to be my most free and best self?
Right. Yeah, we just had that deep conversation, you know, with Dubsack about that. You know, holding on to something, your purpose.
Yeah.
When you know something is intrinsic, and it's pulling you towards something, this is what I'm meant to do. You know, and a lot of people let life just cancel that out.
Right.
You know, you're like, oh, it's not time, it's not the right time. You know, and you said something earlier about time.
Yeah.
You know, time is your most valuable commodity. And one thing I don't like to play with is my time. You know, I like to, look, I don't have time to be wasting doing this when I could be doing what I love. Right. You know, so I love how you worded that and you put that.
For
you
sure,
know,
man. That's how you ultimately help people at the end of the day as well, because I feel like we're all on that journey to ultimately just feel free. Like we don't want to feel like we're burdened by or have to do anything besides that which what we want to do. And I mean, a lot of times too, it's just like we get caught up in this survival mode that we've created as humans. Again, like everything is, we created this entire system that we're in, and so like once you start to understand and uncover like how this reality is working and how everything is like people based, and it's like, you know, like if you understand your power, you understand that you can create whatever reality you want for yourself.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
So, but you really have to uncover that though, because when you're like so in the moment of like, okay, I got bills, I gotta, you know, take care of this, that, and the third. It's like you'll find every excuse in the book not to take that risk. You know?
That you said it. Take that risk.
Yeah.
You don't want to take that risk because comfortability. You're comfortable
What's sticking with me though, too,
with life.
Where you decided that without something tragic happening, and that's something that I have been trying to work on, because my decision to do that, tragedy had to happen for me to. I had almost passed away to decide to love myself and my life, basically, like you're talking about. And what? So it intrigues me because so many of us, I feel like, when it comes up to taking that risk, we know how beautiful it feels, but I don't know if I can do that. You know what I mean? And I just want to know how, at that younger age, how are you able to make that decision that so many of us can't? Yeah. Or don't?
For sure. Well, I'll say it's one thing that I really do truly thank my parents for is instilling my faith in me, and that's God. It's a God work. It's like it's understanding too that, you know, like no matter what you go through, like no matter what your circumstance is, like you're not alone. You have help. You can make it through always, and that comes from.
I get chills. I can feel your energy when you say it.
It comes from an internal place. It really does. So it's like you really have to take time to, like, be with self. Just be with self and uncover pretty much the God in you. To be honest, like that's really who we all are. We're all like these fragments of God,
right?
You know, and it's like that's our true nature. So when you understand that, and you understand like no matter what happens, like you still have complete, you still have control over what's happening. You have control over your peace. You have control over your joy. And the thing is, like, external circumstances, like you can't control external circumstances.
Right.
They will happen. Bad times are bound to come.
Or you control how you respond to things.
Exactly.
And that's what puts you. Your response to something is what's going to dictate your thought process about it. So if you respond in a negative way and you just dwell on that negativity, you're going to be a negative person. You just everything in life you're going to create envy, and then it becomes where this is just something you do,
right?
And you take away your happiness, you take away your own joy.
It's by choice.
Yep,
it's a choice. It's a choice thing.
We choose negative, like we choose to settle or choose not to take that risk. And
it's easier to pretend to not care than it is to show examples of caring. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah. I think it really is. It is a battle, and this is like what I reflect in my art as well. So like people know me to have created these angel and demon character.
Okay.
It's like one getting the best of the other in different scenarios, and that sort of highlights this internal battle that we deal with when it comes to our choices. Like in any given moment, you have the ability or the choice to do one thing or another, or another or another. But we're guided to do a particular thing for whatever reason, and that's I feel like it's that highlights really this. We are these dual beings. We are spirit, but we are also human. We're flesh,
right?
And there is a contradiction between what the spirit desires and what our flesh nature desires. And our flesh is very emotional, and so it's driven to act out of just pure emotion.
Okay.
And that's the thing that we have to tame, because that's not the real version of us. Like the real version of us is nothing but love, and you have to understand how to then align your actions with that of pure love.
Okay.
And that's how you ultimately live the best life possible. Because again, like you don't let your flesh nature control you. Like if you let your emotional urges control all of your actions, I mean, we would all be dead right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like people would just be killing each other left and right. It'll be straight chaos, and we see a lot of that in the world already because people are acting based on just their own desire, their own flesh nature desire. Like we do things to ultimately feel good in our body, and that's why we act out of our flesh. So a lot of that ultimately boils down to ultimately desiring the feelings of what drugs can do, what sex does, stuff like the power of money, like anger, like it's like this natural release. But the spirit is control. The spirit is kindness. The spirit is love. The spirit is gentleness. It is not so attack mode.
Right.
It's like you understand that when you don't let anything outside of you dictate how you react, like you have the power.
Yep. Yep. And you said it, because a lot of people feel like they have their power taken away from them. I have no power. And yes, you made me feel this way.
Right.
You made me feel like I was worthless, like I was nothing, but you have the power to change that. You're the only one that has the power to change that, because no matter what I try to get you to do, you're not going to do it until you want to do it, until you're ready. Exactly. And I like the way you said that it's like an intrinsic feeling, that you already, or an intrinsic path that's already set out, right, of love. And the reason why I said that is because it's kind of like the allegory in the cave. When you look at the allegory of the cave, these people never seen outside before, and they have no clue what, so they only know what's in there. And they don't know if it's right or wrong. When you have automatic love and you don't get a chance to shine and show that, and you've always been taught to think a different way or to follow a different path, like you said, it's almost like like the 9 to 5. You just set up to go to school, go to college, get a job, work, continue to pay, but you're not happy. You're miserable.
Right.
So now you're miserable. It pours out to everyone else around you. I'm mad because of my situation, so now I'll make your situation worse.
Right.
Let be you. But that's hard.
So where are some of your, so where do you like to go, we'll call it your lab, you know what I mean? When you go to the lab, where do you like to do your artwork, or where do you get a lot of your motivation from?
Yeah. So right now I have an in-home studio as well, and I'm on the verge of moving out of my current place to then expand work is getting bigger, more intricate. The impact that I desire to have is large.
Mm-hmm.
Is large. And so it's just I'm in this transitional stage right now where I'm gonna move into like a warehouse studio. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Like
nice.
really,
Yeah.
Really.
More room to create.
Oh yeah, lots more room to create and just
Nice.
do things without any limits. Like I'm in this position now where it's like okay, I'm removing all the things that I feel like can be limiting factors in my creations coming through. Which
Okay.
is space, which is money. Like let's get all this. Let's
Right.
get all this right now together so that I can really have the impact that I know that I believe I'm meant to have. You know? And so yeah, man, just at home in my in my thoughts as well. I take some time to sometimes go for a drive or go to the lake and just reflect. But I think it's just important to genuinely just spend time with self, like just in stillness, like in
Be
stillness.
okay.
Yeah, 100%. And you got to be able to just like. And I love my me time. I love my alone time, because I love me.
Right, yeah.
Like, and that's something that I know some people deal with as well. Is like sometimes they feel the urge to need to be around others, or
Yes.
sometimes that people can't even stand. You can't just look at themselves in the mirror for a certain amount of time. But it's like these are the things that you have to get comfortable with because
Name 3
this
things
is
you love
you.
about yourself.
Right. Well,
Right.
People are struggle with it.
and well, that's the thing.
true, man.
Like you said, you learn that through a more positive avenue. I had to learn to love myself and be okay with being alone. Through other circumstances. A lot of time by myself. Not by my choice. But they're like, you gonna lay down for a little bit. But no, I had a lot of my time I spent behind bars and stuff like that, and just learning to be okay with myself. I don't need nobody around, but that also kept me positive through those hard days. When it was hard, I'm missing my family, I'm missing people. Whether it be boot camp, vacation, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to necessarily be something negative.
Right.
But when you are away from your people, and you can learn to be okay and know that they're okay,
Right.
It's a beautiful thing. That's something that, and like you said, you have a whole map to put it down on because you do artwork. A lot of people don't have those outlets.
Yeah.
So they're trying to figure out,
Yeah.
what am I capable of?
Yeah.
And I see the success and stuff online that I've been seeing you doing a lot of the community outreach and things like that. And one question I ask professionals, anybody that I come across, because I struggle so much with it, how do you find balance in maintaining your energy for home, the energy you push out in the community, the energy you put into your art, to where you're not drained and almost you're hurting, like not hurting, but negating certain areas, whether it's your family, or you know what I mean? Like, how do you maintain your balance? Like, I know you said you like to find your me time.
Yeah. I think that's really important too, and something that I've also been more diligent in coming to my own way of dealing with that in terms of because you desire to be there for everyone, you desire to be there for yourself as well, and sometimes you can find yourself stretched thin trying to do all these things. And especially if things aren't moving how you want it to move, it's like I'm putting so much time and energy into this stuff, and I got to still take care of myself.
Right.
One thing that I've come to understand too is that there is no need to worry. Period. So I think sometimes when we do all these things, we feel like we're stretched thin. I feel like sometimes we may tie that to perhaps like there's time for self, time to recharge, and time to ultimately just feel like you are making that impact that you want to have. And so one thing a couple things. One, I believe we are all here to serve. So I think it's important to understand that when you're doing things for others, one, you're doing what you should be doing.
Yep.
For sure.
I agree.
And that should automatically, and especially if we're choosing to do a thing, like we should only do the things if we know that we're going to proceed with joy when we do it.
Right.
Like even if it
Not out of obligation.
Yeah. Or even like let's say you want to help a family member ask you to help them move or something like that, where it's like, okay, well, I'm helping, but it's taking up time, and it's like I'm doing all this all the time. making the choice to help.
Can't complain.
You can't.
Right.
Don't complain. Don't complain.
Right.
Don't complain. If not, right. If you're not gonna complain, just say you can't do it. Just say you can't do it.
That's hard, you know. In the minute when that person asks you, then you're like,
right.
don't do it. You know what I mean?
I always chalk that up to, you deal with certain people in your life and you can trust them to be who they are.
Mm-hmm.
When you can trust somebody to be who they are, there's no reason to be mad at them for being who they are.
Yeah.
Because I already know how you are. So what am I even getting mad for? Because that's like that all the time. Like, I can't stand when he comes around. Well, you can't stand when that person come around because that person's gonna be the same every time they come around.
Right, every time.
Every single time, unless you change your attitude.
Right.
Because this person's probably thinking in their head, well, I know he don't like me, so I'm just gonna be me. You know, and this has been the thing going on and on and on. So somebody realizes, hey, let me just change my ways, and then maybe by my actions they'll change their ways. Which is typically going to happen when you lead with love. Like you said, you lead with love and understanding. You're going to shift the room.
I'm telling you right now, everything that has happened because of it. See, so and I've been talking about this, the karma circle. I never completed it. I always quit during the struggle. And this time I did it, and I'm getting to see
The results.
Nice.
Or reap your rewards.
And I'm able to share that with people.
Yeah.
But like it's being able to maintain it and to go through that. And I think by doing like all of the things that everything happens, the universe puts it there. By even listening and talking to you, the balance part of it, and you sharing your all of it, so tying together.
Oh man, no, it's incredible. I mean, just again, like you all are, you are an inspiration to like a lot of people. And it may not always be apparent, but just letting you all know now, like the things you all have been through, the stories you all have, the things you're doing now, like don't give up. Please.
Right, yeah.
Please
Yeah.
don't. You know what I'm saying?
About a month ago, I almost not quit being positive, but quit sharing. And I stopped everything. That took a step back. Okay, why am I not happy?
Yeah.
I love doing this. What's going on here?
Right.
And I had to get those things you talked about in order.
Yep.
Money, space, time.
Your boundaries. You get your boundaries in order where, hey,
I was getting so upset in the mental health. You know, the only time I've had one musing thought in 5 years. My 5 years coming up on Thanksgiving.
nice.
Congrats, man.
Thank you. And the only time I had a using thought is when I started putting expectations on people that they don't know about and expecting return on my like I'm doing all this stuff, but nothing.
Looking for the rewards.
But I chose.
Exactly.
So I can't be upset when it doesn't go how I want. And I'm just like, it ties into all of this, and it's just.
Well, and that becomes where it's mentally draining. You know what I mean? It like you're doing so much, like out in the community, you're doing so much. You got this going on, that going on. It's a lot for the brain. Like you get mentally tired, and sometimes we see that mental tiredness as a chance to give up. Because you're not gonna push through it. You're like, yo, I'm just. This ain't working. Nobody's checking my page. Nobody's doing this, and you're so worried about what's going on outside. And like you said, you got to come back in and worry about you. Look, I signed up for this, because I think you were saying it, servitude. We're all put here to be of service,
Right.
in some shape or form. Whether you're a father, whether you're a brother, uncle, mother,
Right.
podcaster, artist.
Mics, you know what I'm saying? Like
That's right. Everybody is to serve somebody.
Right.
And once we understand that, it's not about, I think the best person that ever explained it to me was your sister, my lady. She explained it like it's not her responsibility, to make sure I'm okay internally. You know what I mean? And it's a lot of people's problem. They try to change somebody, and they're like, I want to be there for you, and I'm gonna help change you. But no, that person has to find out what they're capable of.
Yeah.
What you offer to the world. Right. And I think that's finding that purpose. With you, it's with art. You like, man, look, hey, people love this because I was checking you out a little bit more, going into depth, and man, you got a lot. I saw that about the parade. That you had going on down there, and just things like that in the community, showing up.
Mural?
Did
you do a big mural somewhere?
I haven't done any like massive murals per se, but I've done. I mean, my artwork is typically large, anyways. But I've done some bigger pieces. Some bigger pieces in general, and like the one that's can see in the community now is at the Greater Milwaukee Foundation, where I worked with around 55 youth, so 6 to 12-year-olds,
Okay.
to make this piece that's on display at their foundation. So if you drive by on the street, you'll be able to see it. So it almost acts as a mural.
Okay.
It's like
And where's this
a
at?
large piece of art. It's on, what is it, like a Martin Luther King Drive and I believe Garfield is the street.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So near
I'm
downtown.
off Booth and North Avenue. It's
Nice,
right
okay.
over the way.
Yeah, exactly,
yeah,
right,
yep.
exactly. So,
Hey, I'm from here, born, just raised in a lot of stories from here.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you got any work in the art museum down there?
The question is,
Do you have any work in the art museum
in the art museum
down by the lake?
Not yet. However, I am. Yeah, exactly. Not yet.
Oh, no,
That's the work. That's the work.
I got in there when I was in
Right.
kindergarten. It was like kindergarten. I drew a picture of Martin Luther King, for the contest, and they
Hey.
presented it at the art museum. And I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna be an artist."
Hey,
Then I turned about 12 and was like, "Yeah, I don't know if I can draw anymore."
Yeah, I feel that. But then again, that's the thing too. It's like, cause I feel like I'm not the best drawer. Like I don't. The thing is like when you go to a museum, you'll see it's like anything kind of goes. Really.
Right. Well,
And really, it just comes down to, which I believe is like indicative of anything. It's like the belief you put behind it. It's not really about the talent itself.
Right.
It's about the story of what you created. And
you said the story,
Yeah,
the meaning.
exactly.
If you can look at a piece of art and you can't tell me what it is or why you made it, I'm kind of not interested.
Yeah, exactly.
But it could be a can, like you said,
Exactly.
and you'd be like, "That story is crazy."
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly. You would convince somebody to. That's how you sell water to ice to Eskimo.
That's
it's like,
right.
It's like okay. It's like you make them believe.
yes,
And this is like the thing that I think is important to impress upon people is like we live in a belief-based reality. Like
yes.
this, what you believe, you will manifest.
Oh,
And like to the core of what it is, and like your external circumstances, like it truly just reflects what's happening inside of you. Because we decide to put ourselves in certain spaces and places because that's just where we are. And one of my favorite quotes is, I forget who says it, but it says, "In life, you don't get what you want, you get what you are." And so it's like you have to be like it's all about just if you want to change in your reality, you just have to start being.
right.
And you will start to see everything around you change. You will start to put yourself in different environments. You will start to associate with different people that are more aligned with your higher self.
Okay.
It does, and it happens. And the thing is, like, this is like opportunity is around us at all points of time. It's like, but a lot of times we just simply overlook it because it's not on our radar. You know what I'm saying? It's like these people are like, it could be the person, whatever. Like, it just if your mind is on a particular thing, like all the stars would align for everything to manifest for you, just as you desire it to. But you have to be in a place to even know that the opportunity is in front of your face.
Right.
Otherwise, you would truly overlook it because you're not there yet.
Well, that ties back to what you were saying about focusing so much energy on the outside things, that you're not focused on the internal. So it's kind of like you want to get this out, you want to get it out, but you are too worried about expressing yourself in your natural form.
Yeah.
I mean, does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like, you worried about you worried about what everybody else thinks. So it's kind of like, with social media, you're so worried about what everybody else has, and you're not concerned with what you have to offer. You know what I mean? Like, you got a lot to offer, but you're too worried about what everybody else has. Right.
Yeah.
Why is that
for
working
sure.
for them, and why does he get that deal, and why couldn't I get that deal? And I applied for that same job, and it's like, okay, so well, maybe that job wasn't for you.
Right.
Maybe that opportunity wasn't ready yet. So when you can understand that, then you can tell yourself to relax and calm down instead of
Exactly.
I gotta make 150,000 this year because I'm gonna be doing better this year. And everybody's hype is what the next year is gonna bring. And like you said, focus in the now, and next year gonna be amazing.
Oh yeah, man. That's 100%, man. I feel like a lot of times too, like to your point, I feel like we do sometimes we focus. I think one of our biggest problems as people is we do focus too much on what other people think, and not just like doing things based on like our true desire, like our true like desire, if you will, but it's like, how is this going to look to others? You know, and it's like you sometimes fall into the trap of like doing things that you think looks good to others, but
you think it looks good to others.
Right.
But inside you're still like you don't feel fulfilled.
You don't feel whole.
You know, and we just fall into that trap of that, and it's like you can't desire what other people have, or you can't care what other people think about what you are doing. The point is, if you move in this life as your most vulnerable self, like allowing yourself to just express freely without care of what anyone says, like that is how you break through. You know, that's how you like break through to the next level, because it's like people ultimately all desire to be their most free self, like their most expressive, vulnerable self. Right, 100%. And it's like, and you not at that point in time too, to like if you proceed and know who you truly are, which is spirit of love, like your actions will reflect will reflect that, and that is something that I believe people crave as well. Like they crave that for themselves, you know. Exactly, yeah.
Energy travels. You put out good energy, you're gonna have a good energy coming back to you. If you continue to put the negativity out there, you can only expect negativity back.
Yeah,
you know, people are still gonna love you,
100%.
but if you're not receptive to accepting that love from them, then you ain't open to changing. Right.
You know what I mean?
They can pretend. I mean, like I have to love my. You know, it's like I have to love my kids. Do I really like some of them? No. Like I got older kids, and I don't like. I try to figure out like why does he act this way? Why you know? And then I think about it. I'm like, well, they act that way because they saw me do things like that. You know, they watched me. So if I show them, you know, how to be of service and show love to everybody, you know, they're gonna openly do that. You know, and it doesn't make you weak. It don't make you.
No.
I mean,
it makes you strong. It makes you the strongest.
Right.
It makes you the most powerful.
Yeah.
You know, it's like again, like when you don't. It's like we do things that just have adverse effects that we don't even realize. It's like when you move like in a self-driven way, like just trying to appease your own self-desires. You know, without understanding what love is, which is like just serving others. You know, at the end of the day, it's like you ultimately end up doing things that, you know, because at the end of the day, your actions are still driven by you internally wanting to feel a particular type of way. And I think we're all truly just searching for that true feeling of love. And so it's like we do things for like, you know, to have great relationships with people and to make, you know, to make sure that your situation is good. And that a lot of times it just include other people. The thing is though, because we all have the same desire, which is ultimately to feel the feeling of love, is when you move in a selfish way, you do things where you try to acquire your love at the expense of somebody else's. You know, and when you do that, you are creating for yourself a problem. You create a problem for yourself because now you're stripping someone of the very same thing that we're all after, you know. And when you do that, now someone has you have a reason to look over your shoulder now because you know you screw people over.
Right.
It's like okay, you know when you do something where it makes someone when you're doing it just for self and not caring what other people get out of the equation. And so when you move in a way where you just know that you're doing it for self only, not caring how it affects others, you're going to create a ripple effect of people who could potentially do you harm, and you're sitting with that now. You're sitting with that when you move in pure love, knowing that you're doing things out of kindness and out of fairness too, making sure that not only that you're good in the equation, but the other people are good as well. Like you know you've left a good seed. It's like I don't have to worry. I don't need to worry.
Like you said, you planted the seed.
Yeah.
You planted the seed and did your part.
You know what? So that maybe brought some like. So when that happens, so for instance, I'll use this as an example. When people say things about me or things like that, I don't have to give that any value because I'm doing right. I've had to check I went to the mirror and done this. I've been like, have I done anything? No, I'm doing it. This is them. This is them. This is me.
Right.
Well, we question ourselves by nature, you know.
You know, but how many of us have those talks with ourselves when that happens?
That's the
Stop, wait a
problem.
second.
We don't have those talks with
Right,
ourselves.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we don't have the correct talks with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we go off of what's going on around us and try to talk to ourselves out of it. You know, instead of actually listening to what ourselves are actually telling us.
Right.
Because that's why they call it your gut instinct. You know, when you feel it in your gut and it's not right, it's probably not right.
For
like,
sure.
That means go the other way.
You know it.
Yeah.
You know it. You
Like
know.
you got that weird feeling. You know, like
but we move right past it, so we don't have to know. Just,
Right.
Oh, I forgot about it. I don't know it no more.
right, and it comes
Did you
out of
think about this
fear.
before? No, it just happened.
Yeah, and it comes out of it comes in different ways that it looks like fear, ambition, envy, and that's how it all comes out because you start telling yourself like you said it, you keep going back to it. With what you tell yourself is what you become, right?
Yeah.
And when you tell yourself things like, the book I just finished is called "What a Man Thinketh," and I forgot who it's by, but it's "What a Man Thinketh."
Right.
And it basically says the same thing. What you think is what you believe, and what you believe is how you react. And this is what you start doing. So if you see yourself, that's why I always never like, me and Koki go and we speak at a recovery center. And, I probably shouldn't just be like out there in recovery centers. Like, I don't like when they do this, I'm not that person. But at the same time, I really don't like when they make you stand up and say, hey, my name is so-and-so and I'm an alcoholic. Because now you're telling yourself that's what you are. You are no better than that.
You're telling yourself you identify with being with that.
Exactly.
Like,
and this lasts with you, because
Yeah.
once you complete the program, you get out, you're still telling yourself, I'm always going to be an alcoholic. I have to do better. I have to do this so that I don't go back to that. Now, you need to be telling yourself that what I was doing just isn't right.
Right.
And I'm not going to go back to that. And develop that discipline behind that.
Right.
Not based off what someone else taught you or is teaching you.
Right. Like, I mean, you could say something like, I've battled with alcoholism, but you don't identify with being an alcoholic. Like, I mean, like, you have the power within you to change anything, and like you can heal from anything.
Right. Well, I can't come in here and I can't come in here and feel comfortable preaching to you about how you have the power to change, and if I can do it, you can do it. But then I'm gonna turn around and come to a meeting with you and have you stand up and say, "This is what I am." That nullifies everything I just told you, and they're looking at me like, well, are you really doing it?
Yeah.
Now, do you switching lanes?
No, go ahead.
Do you have any big stuff coming up, like any art? And I ain't forgot about doing that art thing with you either.
Oh yeah. We have to collaborate at some point in time. We're gonna make it happen.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Vocal and vision.
But yeah, I mean, I guess on the radar, I'll be a part of a show that's happening in Madison, Wisconsin, at the Overture Center. That's coming up in a few weeks until February. I was just approached today about another show here in Milwaukee, but yeah. Right now, I'm sort of like in this transitional phase. Where it's like, okay, like I've been doing what I've been doing, which is cool. However, like there's bigger and there's more to do for sure. So in order for me to actually achieve that, I have to rearrange how I'm spending my time, because what got me here isn't going to get me there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like I am where I am now because I've been doing what I've been doing. But if the vision of me, looks like something else, like in a whole different lane, a whole different sphere of things, like my actions must align with that higher self.
Right.
And so
You got to grow with the changes.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to grow as a person with the changes. You know, if they're positive changes, I mean, you don't want to be like, I got to adapt to negativity again. But, if things going positive, you want to adapt to those changes.
Yeah, exactly. And just, you got to build and understanding how things do compound. So it's like you're and it starts off slow too. So, I mean, how things compound, they move exponentially. So the beginning stage is always kind of slow. You're really on the grind. But when that moment occurs, when that shift happens, like it's like a wildfire. Like it's here now, and it's evident it's here now. And it just gets on and popping from that. But you also do have to adapt with that because again, like you may be busier than you ever thought. It's like your time just looks a lot different than what it was when you were doing just like the solo things. Like now I need a team.
Yep.
I guess so. I need a team now. So it's like now you gotta level up. Now you gotta be a boss. Now you gotta, you know what I'm saying. So you gotta like if you don't adapt with it, like I mean, like.
Well, that's where you get frustrated. That's where you get frustrated, and you either quit or you get run over. That's what happens because you get stuck in that position where you like, okay, I don't know what, man. This is happening way too fast. This is all going on right now. I don't think I'm ready for this. And again, that's that self-talk. You start telling yourself, nah, this is what you wanted.
Yeah.
This is what you wanted. Let's go.
You know, here now. What you gonna do?
I like that. You chose it. No matter what it is.
That's why me and my girl love that song. Hype me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, homie, because you're going to hype yourself up. You your biggest hype star, you know? So, I mean, I'm definitely, you know, you gotta adapt with the changes. And when things start happening, you know, quickly, like things with us, you know, we never thought that we'd be doing podcasting. And, you know, I talked to I got a foster brother that lives down here still. And I talk to him quite often. And we talk about back when we were making radio stations out of cardboard in our bedroom, you know, and we used to use the tape and have to tape the one in so you could record on the other tape recorder, you know what I mean? So we used to do that, had the microphone, and we like, NWA, blah, 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 you know, and I never thought that, you know, 30 years later, I'm going to actually be doing a podcast, you know, because I never went into music the way I used to do music because of stage fright. Now I'm a public speaker. I'm a Wisconsin State Certified Peer Support Specialist, and I do 2 podcasts, you know, and I'm out in the community like, hey, I talk to you, want something to talk about, let's go, you know?
Because you love yourself enough to put the work.
That's right. You know, man. Exactly, the discipline in the work.
Yeah.
You know, so what keeps you disciplined when you focus on your artwork? Yeah,
man, just understanding the reasons that I'm doing it, you know? It's like, again, like it's beyond me, you know what I'm saying? Like it's you know, I create, and it's a blessing to be able to create. Period. I mean, because that's just when you get a chance to just do the thing that brings you joy by simply doing it. You know, there's like no greater feeling. But then you know that what you're doing ultimately has the ability to help others, like on their journey of self-discovery. You know, it's. I mean, I wouldn't be doing anything. What else would I going to be spending my time doing? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what am I doing?
Once it clicks with you, that's what it is.
Yeah, for sure. And again, too, like taking that path is, you know, you really have to, like, because you will be tested, you will be challenged along the path of doing your own thing. Like, without a doubt. And everything will come your way to make you be like, react. Yeah, exactly. You know,
you gonna quit today?
Right.
You gonna yell today?
Exactly. Right. But that's the thing too. Is like the thing that I've uncovered for myself too is that, like, you know, like when moments get really tough, like well, I'll put it this way, like things always work out. Like quite literally, they always work out. They always work out.
Stop.
Right. Yeah, they always work out. And it's like the thing is, like when you're grateful for the little things, just like life in and of itself, is such a blessing. Right. You know, right? Like no matter what your external circumstance may be, like understanding that, like I'm a human. Like, I'm not a mosquito. I'm not a. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm blessed. Like I can create. I can do free. I can go walk outside. I can just.
You're a more sophisticated creation than.
Exactly right. Exactly right. You know, and I get to do these things.
He just spent his entire life trying to get a mile.
Right.
You know, like, and this is all as far as I got.
Right. So it's like when you're grateful for those sort of moments, it's like when times get really tough, like you just understand that, like, at the end of the day, no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to survive. I'm going to live. Like, and usually when you just stay with it, it usually finds a way. Like, a way is usually made, always. Like, and I believe your belief, that's when your belief truly pushes through in those moments of pressure. Right. And it's like, that's the test right there. Of like, okay, like, that's when you meet head to head with your actual belief. Like, okay, well, what do you believe? Because now at this point in time, are you going to give up and do this other thing? Because it's like, oh, I've come into a hard time. It's
right.
Like, nah. This is the time where you really got to let your spirit shine. You know, because that's it. Like, if you don't, then, you know, but it's like having to push through that, and like it's you realize that when those moments come, you overcome. Some miraculous thing happens. Somebody bless you with this or that. It's like. Right in the nick of time. Right in the nick of time. Like, always. You know, and it's like, oh, you know, this happened time after time after time. It's like, you actually really, truly don't need to worry.
Right.
Like, you could just proceed as you do and know that perhaps when a challenging time may come, that you're going to overcome it and you're going to be all right.
Right.
You know, and so that keeps me on the path of just doing what I know I ought to be doing, as opposed to feeling like some pressured situation is going to perhaps make me change what I'm doing.
Right. Like it, yeah. And I like how you said that because that falls into like two categories of people that give up and the people that choose something different, thinking that it's going to be a different outcome.
Right.
Oh, I'm not going to do this anymore because I know you as an engineer and going to school and doing all that and then realizing that this might not be what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Right.
You know, it's easy to go away from that because you're doing your passion outside of that. But for most people, they're just like, oh man, I tried to be a CNA that didn't work, so now I'm going to try to be an RN. Okay, so you're going to step it up a notch and be even more stressed, you know, because it didn't work for you there. You know, like, okay, let's perfect this position first, move to the next level, you know, and just keep leveling up, you know, until you get, because no matter what you do as a job or a career, most of the time it's going to be it's a vehicle to get you to where you're trying to really be, you know, so you utilize that vehicle. Like when I started public speaking, my mentor told me, he said, don't quit your day job. He said, and I ended up leaving my day job and trying to do that. And I was like, yeah, I should have listened to him. Like, this ain't what it was cracked up to be, but we didn't give up. You know, I kept public speaking. I kept doing this, you know, I kept trying to build this. Even now people ask all the time, like, you get paid for that? Nope. No, I don't get paid for podcasting. I love to do it. Not yet. There you go. That's right. Not yet. Because there's ways, you know, and I'm figuring them out. But it all comes down to is networking and getting to know people and opening up those doors, planting those seeds.
Right. You know, opportunity ever to let you know it's coming. The best way is to be ready.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. You never know.
Right. And just be in position. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you like right now, you all are putting yourselves in position by showing up, doing the work, even though there's no like immediate pay right now.
Right.
You know, but you're in position.
You got knowledge for the immediate pay.
That's coming. And I'm telling you, like, this is because you all are in position now for those things to start to come into fruition. You know, so it's like, you know, like people, you know, a lot of times people have this belief of this, like, you know, they think that if they, you know, do a thing one time and a couple of times, it's just like, oh, well, you know, like, it's like, bro, like, you just, like, no, like, you really got to just, like, stick with the thing.
Yeah.
You know, you got to, and that's, like, putting
repetition.
yourself in position, right?
Repetition.
And that's, to your point, too, like, connecting with people as well. It's like the work isn't also, like, if you really want to, like, do a thing and, like, make it your thing and, like, actually start to, like, generate income from it and stuff like that, it's like you have to do more than just the creating part itself.
Right.
You got to actually start connecting with people.
Right.
Like,
and you got to learn. You got to learn your craft. You got to learn. A lot of people think that, hey, but it's like being a music artist. You know, I can rap, I can get on the mic. But do you know anything about the business end of it? Do you understand anything about how to book a hotel and how to, you know, start figuring out whether you're getting screwed because somebody else is booking your hotels, or are you staying on track of all of this? Because now you're becoming a more, like you say, you step into a role that's higher than what it is you were doing. But these are opportunities, you know, that don't come often. So now you're here. So now what are you going to do with that?
Right.
And you better hope you got the right people around you that are going to push you and build you up instead of trying to take. You know, and just take. And that's what we get a lot. You know, even you as an artist, a lot of people want to manage your work. Any type of artist. It doesn't matter if you do music, if you do art, you know, they want to manage your time. They want to manage because they want to take from you. You know, not everybody's out for that, but 90% of the time when I say, hey man, I see you got a skill. How can I jump on board with that? You know,
what can you offer? Who can you put me in front of?
That's right. You know, what's my cut?
Make it make sense.
Yep. Instead of I want to take y'all, I want to help build you because I see you have a talent. Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, there is collaboration and there is, you know, like there are people who serve in the better way where it's like, okay, this person is talented. I have the wherewithal or knowledge or connections to actually take them to the next level. And of course, that comes at a cost as well.
Right.
And I feel like that's another part as well. Like as creatives, is like, okay, having like knowing who to trust, but also knowing that, like, you know, when you let go. Like one of the words that I have written on my wall that I look at every day is surrender. Like just surrender. You know, because you know we try to hold on so tightly to all the things. And it's like when you find yourself giving, I say giving is the key to growth. Giving is the key to growth. Even giving a little bit of just like self, just like letting go of like the thing that you hold, like that you care so deeply for. Like if you give some of that, like, you know, let others into your process, you know, that's how you grow. Like, Because again, like you try to do everything by yourself, like you'll find yourself not getting a whole lot done.
Right.
Yeah. And so like even like this right now, you all, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a partnership. It's like a giving. It's like it's not just one person on the podcast. It's like you're sharing
Right.
the podcast. You know?
Right. Right.
And that amplifies things.
Well, actually, you want
you
to know something? I'm gonna let you. So I had to. We tried to do this before, but my ego got in the way. Blocked this positivity. Like I got to do it this way, do it, and it took me a little while, and that's how we came back.
And I did the same thing. You know, we had the same goal, but two different thoughts of how we were getting there. And it started clashing where it was like, yeah, no, I don't like that idea, and I don't like the way. No, I'm not gonna do that. Like for example, you know, he came in today and he says he was so happy. He's like, we're both gonna wear tacky jumpsuits. I said no. Nope, absolutely not. Immediately, there was no questioning about it. I said nope, absolutely not. And you know, he wore his. You know, he likes his. Man,
man, you're rocking it, man. You doing it well.
I said you do the color thing, I do the black and white thing.
Yeah, he's the stick on the carrot.
Yeah, I love it.
But it works, you know. But yeah, we tried that in the beginning, and it was just two different thought processes.
Yeah,
you know.
How can people find you?
Yeah. I exist primarily on Instagram, so at Nemo Greater, so that's Nemo Greater. So Nemo like the fish, Nemo Greater, like not less than or greater than.
Okay.
And so find me there, LinkedIn, stuff like that as well. But yeah, man, I'm around. I'm pretty pro.
I got one more. If you had one thing to leave with the younger generation, one thing to leave them with you.
Well, the first thing that I desire to say is I love you. Like I love you. You know, and I encourage you to say that to your people as well. Is I love you. It's the most vulnerable thing that you can say, but it's also the best thing that you can possibly give someone. And you'll be surprised how many people don't hear that, but desire to hear that. You will make their world when you tell that to them. So one, I want to give you my love. So I love you, but also just encourage you to just create. You know, find and ask yourself, what is your creative outlet? So that's one thing I like to ask people all the time. Like, what is your creative outlet? Because when you create in your own authentic way, you are tapping into the true version of yourself. Like, you are a creator. What you do is create. So it doesn't have to be like in a visual arts way. It could be like, you know, cooking. It could be boxing, right? Like, this is your creative outlet. What is the thing that you care to like actually go deeper on?
Right.
Like, what do you care to like? What do you gravitate to that you actually want to learn more about? You know, and it's like you can consider that your creative outlet. So don't stop creating. Love others, and just proceed in pure joy. Don't let anything outside of you dictate how you react. Always control how you react. You know, and that's just you keep your power, and then you'll realize how far that'll take you.
Oh, nice, man. I think that's a good one to fall back on, man. Nemo, I really appreciate you taking the time, and it was an honor to meet you.
Likewise, man. Appreciate y'all for having me.
Definitely, man. I appreciate that.
Wait.
You go ahead.
I gotta give you a freestyle for you.
Oh yeah.
Hey, let me get it, man. Oh.
So we finished up the interview, boxing right behind. We can watch it on the video. I'll go hit rewind. Bros and Gum, we get it. Rolling off the top. You paint the visual art. I roll it the hip hop. But you said you had some bars, maybe even a couple. Let me get the flowing like we're in a football huddle. I'm gonna pass the mic. Gonna get it really quick. What's up, Nemo? Let me hear you spit swift.
Hey, we're Koki and Justin. We in a boxing room, but we loving each other like brothers. I love them that they came from the same mother, and it's really real. This is how I feel. I give it to you raw. No faking deals.
Hey,
I love it, man. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
We appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Much love, y'all. And like you said, love yourself. Put kindness in the world, because guess what? Just like waves.
All the time. Bros and Cons podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next time.